Well, this is my first ride on the Evercross EVK10 Pro. It is fully charged, so we're going to do a top speed test, brake test. I'm also going to try a very steep hill for this because it has a 500 watt motor. So we're going to see what it's all about. I'll talk about what I like about it at the end of the video, what I dislike about it. I'll talk about the value as well and who is it for. Most importantly though, can I reach that top speed of 30 kilometers per hour? Now, I am on sport mode, like I said, and it is fully charged. Temperature today is 10 degrees Celsius. Ain't a lot of wind, so this will be a really good day to see what this scooter is all about. Does have a thumb throttle. Handlebars are quite narrow. Stability wise it's not too bad, but I haven't really given it full throttle until now in a second, so let me just do that. Okay, here we go. We're on more or less a straight run. Let's go. What speed can we get up to? Can it really get up to 30 kilometers an hour? We are going 27, 28, 29. 29, GPS 29, display saying 30. So there we go. Actually, yes, it can actually get up to 30 kilometers an hour. I'm actually quite surprised with that. Handling wise on the scooter, okay, we do definitely need to talk about a few of the features of this scooter, but let's go on a small bit of a little gravelly area. Now the tires on this are honeycomb tires, okay. I'm not a fan of solid tires, but this scooter actually has front suspension and rear suspension. So let me see, on a bumpy surface like this, ooh, it's not too bad. Mechanical brake would need to be adjusted. It does have, of course, EBS braking. I'm 5'8", so this is just about as low as I would like to get on an electric scooter. But suspension on this is actually quite good because I am on a very rough surface here. So even with solids, it's actually quite smooth. But you see the way the ground is actually wet here, you 100%, especially on solid wheels that are as narrow as this. I'll show you all the details in a second. That are as narrow as this, you need to be careful. It does also have a few nice features that I'll show you. Like it has, of course, indicators built into the throttle, which are quite cool. Definitely a lot more electric scooters are actually going to start having them from what it seems, which is a very much requested feature. This scooter also has app control. You can turn on cruise control, you can turn on zero start or turn off zero start. You can also limit the speed if you want to 25 kilometers an hour, or have it maxed out like me at the 30 kilometer an hour top speed. You can also see the battery percentage on the app, which is actually quite handy to see, to be honest. And mileage travel, firmware updates, pretty basic, but also does the job, does what it needs to do. It's not over complicating things at all. But yeah, actually, even on a really bad surface like this, suspension is doing actually quite a decent job. But you can feel the vibration from those solid wheels. Ooh, nearly slipped out there. Ooh, the scooter definitely nearly slipped out from underneath me there. So turning corners like this, you cannot take them too sharp. Otherwise, you'll end up, whoa, and whoa, gee, nearly slipped there. Oh, and it's front motor, so the motor is slipping a little bit when I accelerate from a still stop. So again, yeah, you need to be careful on a scooter like this. If you don't have experience riding electric scooters and you jump on something like this on wet road and start going crazy, you're probably going to end up, giving yourself, having an accident. So I would highly suggest, as always, wearing a full face helmet. You can actually see how narrow the wheels are. They're around 1.75 inches, I'd say, in width, but they are narrow. and they are quite rounded as well, so for that reason you don't have a lot of grip turning, even though it does have basically a side tread around it here. Honeycomb, of course, are supposed to provide some sort of dampening, but the suspension on it is doing an okay job, but I'm always cautious of this. But let's keep going. By the way, a lot of people ask, what is zero start? So zero start is, of course, instead of giving the scooter a kick and then pressing the accelerator, you simply just press the accelerator at a standstill and then the scooter goes. So you can enable that or disable it, wherever you want to do. The deck here, just take a look at the deck here. It's very, very narrow. Okay, the scooter is actually quite high off the ground, which is a bit of a good thing, but the deck is very narrow. So I'm a size 10 in feet, so if you're size like 11 or 12, comfortability factor ain't really gonna be there, to be honest. Folding mechanism, quite standard, nothing special there. Of course, over time, will that give problems? Maybe, because you can't adjust them. So most of the folding mechanisms you can't adjust them, so you know, even going like this, I can feel a small bit of play in it, and I'm only riding it probably after 3 kilometers, so you definitely need to be careful. You cannot jump off curbs. You see people jumping off curbs. You've seen these being advertised to jump off steps. No way. A scooter like this is not designed for anything like that at all. Folding mechanisms can snap. If you actually see, you see this ground here, so when you have grooves like this in the ground, the scooter can actually get in one of those canals there and slip out. So definitely be careful. Ground is more than moderately dry today, but the scooter is definitely making me be more cautious. So it does have a 150 kilogram payload, so most scooters are 120 kilos. This is said to be 150 kilos, but that is questionable. So yeah, you'd need to take that one with a grain of salt. Range of up to 40 kilometers from that 36 volt battery. Again, that would be going in perfect conditions with a 70-75 kilo rider on only the eco mode. So yeah, if you're going fast as possible with that 36 volt battery, to be honest, you'd probably get maybe 15 kilometer max. Whoa. Oh god. Ooh, okay, I'm not going to go into those grooves anymore. God, it scares when the scooter like this slips out from underneath you. It definitely makes you question what the hell are you doing. I prefer basically tires that are 10 inches by 3 inches in width, but honeycomb tires, I don't know. Braking wise, let's do a brake test. Let's get up as fast as possible. So at least we know that the top speed is the true top speed. So we're going 25 kilometers an hour. Come on, 26, 27. You cannot change the regenerative braking force either. So we're going 28. So let's do a brake test. Okay, the regenerative braking mainly stopped the scooter there, whereas of course the disc brake would need to be adjusted at the back. It did feel okay out of the box, but when you go full force, yeah, it doesn't really do the job. You double tap that to turn on your light. To change your modes, you just tap the button. So you have walk mode, eco mode, drive mode, sport mode, giving you the fastest. You of course have your indicators here, left, right as well. So they're actually quite cool, and they beep as well. So they're built-in, integrated into the accelerator, which is a really nice thing to see. So I do really like that design. Grips are pretty standard but quite comfortable. Okay, this is going to be a definite hill test. I'm going to go to the entrance of a car park, and this ain't a small hill. Let's go. If it climbs up this, I'll be very happy. Oh, 15, 14, 13. Oh, no, I need to push myself up. No, it definitely won't make it up a 20-degree gradient, but it is what it is. We have another incline here. Will it make it up this one? This one ain't too bad. Oh, it's pushing 8, 7, Oh, okay. That one wasn't as steep, but still, definitely the scooter struggled on a reasonably sized hill. We have another one here, third one. Let's see if it'll get us up this one. Keep in mind, we're probably at like 40% battery. Actually, no, maybe 50% battery at this point. Give it a bit of a run up. Oh, don't get the barrier. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm pretty burnt out the controller doing this. Come on, please don't stop. Yes, happy days. So yeah, an okay size hill, maybe 10 degrees, you should be okay. But anything above that, yeah, you're probably gonna, if you force a scooter, you're gonna burn it out very easily, burn the controller out, and drain your battery very, very, very quickly. So first of all, a huge shout out to Evercross for sending me this model to review. It is linked below, by the way, and if I have a discount code, I will leave it right there. Let's talk briefly about the specs one more time. A 500 watt motor, 36 volt battery with a range of up to 40 kilometers. You saw top speed, real top speed, is actually 30 kilometers an hour, which is actually very good. Suspension in the front and in the rear actually does an okay job. So let's break this down a bit more. What do I like about this? Well, first of all, there is an app. You can put on cruise control, zero start, you can see the percentage of the battery, which is a really good thing that I'd like to see more scooters having going forward. It also has, of course, the indicators left and right, which do beep to remind you that they actually are on, which is actually very good to see. Standard display, nothing too complicated there. A hook if you want to put something lightweight on it. Handlebar width is okay. I wish it was a tiny bit wider, but that's not really the bigger issue, which I'll get to now in a second. A standard frame design, nothing too complicated there. Deck is an okay-ish size, but it is a bit narrow. Length is not the issue, it's more the width of this. So I kind of, another thing that I have to talk about in a few minutes that I don't like about the Evercross. But overall, I'm actually quite surprised with the suspension on this. It's not that bad. I've seen a lot worse on some more expensive scooters. So there is actually, funny enough, you can even see the rear there. It's nice and spongy. The front is actually not too bad at all. So from a scooter that has solid wheels, it doesn't do that bad of a job. Now before I give my verdict on this scooter, let me tell you what I don't like about it. So if you've been following the channel for a few years, or if you're just new here, just to give you a quick recap, I have never liked solid wheel electric scooters, because solid wheels can basically not only rattle components of the scooter such as the battery compartment, controllers, screws, suspensions, handlebars, it can cause havoc down the road. It might be good at first, but down the road it probably will give you issues. This scooter may very well do the same, even though it does have suspension, so you need to keep that in mind. But I did have a solid wheel scooter that I did love a long time ago, and that was the Varla Pegasus, a dual motor powered electric scooter that had 10" by 3" fat solid wheels that also had full suspension. That scooter never let me down, and it never actually really gave me that big of an issue. So, will it happen with this? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure. Again, with those solid wheels, because of course you don't have a lot of dampening, turning bends and stuff like that, you can see the profile on this is very, very rounded. So as you can see from my first ride there, I did nearly fall. I nearly had a few accidents, so it definitely worries me. If you're on wet ground, avoid using a solid wheel electric scooter. Turn a corners, you have to go very, very slow. Even if you're on icy conditions, of course don't ride any scooter for that matter, but especially a solid wheel electric scooter. So who is this for? I gotta be honest. I always have to be honest when I'm doing these reviews. First impressions is okay. Long term going forward, you might have issues with components, becoming loose, screws becoming loose, you might have problems with controllers, batteries. I'm not sure what the internals look like on this electric scooter, so it's a bit tricky. I think if you have no choice at all, and what I mean by no choice is if you live in an area where there's broken glass, like there's screws, there's nails, the roads are so bad, and you get punctures almost every other day, okay, maybe you have no choice but to get a solid wheel electric scooter. That's just the way it is in some areas, and I fully understand. So in that case, maybe you would have to get a solid wheel electric scooter. But all other cases, avoid them, to be completely honest. Could you convert them to a tube tire? Yeah, maybe you could. You could go through the hassle of doing that. And that brings me on to the cost of this. To be honest, when I saw the cost of this, I fully expected it to be around that price, which is around €400, give or take. Considering the speed of 30 kilometers an hour, it's actually not that bad. Considering the expected range, it's actually not that bad either. And with the suspension there, plus the indicators, again, it's not that bad. But my concern is mainly the safety aspect of those solid wheels. So take with it what you will. I'm just giving my overall honest opinion. But if you want to see other electric scooters that I have reviewed, which is many, click on the playlist shown up on screen right now. Give this video a like. Any comments, questions, leave them below. I reply to every single comment and question on this channel. I appreciate the support as always. In the meantime, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.